Hello everyone. What we have here is our half circle calving pen with a self-catch head gate. This calving pen has been completely redesigned from front to back and from ground up. And when I say ground up, I literally mean ground up, which I'll explain to you in a minute. So one of the first things that we'll talk about is the structure of our pen. The structure, the rigidity of our pen has been greatly improved. And one of the reasons for this is so that the producer can move this pen around in his operation from place to place with his loader without disassembling anything. And hence why we got these fork targets here. Now you'll notice that these fork targets on the outside are underneath the rail. On the inside, they're on top of the rail. So this is one of the things that we discovered in one of the ranches that we were testing on, as we know that there's no such thing as a cookie cutter operation. And the forks on that tractor were too short to reach across to the inner rail, so we had a difficult time moving it. So we put them on top so that you can come across with your loader and you can lift up on those fork targets, and your center of mass is below that, so your pen is beautifully balanced. So the structure of the frame is all 2x2, 13 gauge. It's got large tube gussets front and back, and on inside, your cross members that come around across top and bottom to hold your curved panel on are hard bolted 3-bolt connection on the front, top and bottom, hard bolted 2-bolt connection on the front on the outside. At the back of your curved panel, there's a hard 2-bolt connection top and bottom, and on the inside, it's a 2-bolt connection, but the tube sleeves a long ways into the outer sleeve for added stability when you lift this pen up. The panels are 69 inches high with progressive spaced rails, starting smaller at the bottom and increasing its width as you go to the top. The next thing we'll talk about is our PolyCleat floor. So one of the main reasons you have a floor in a calving pen, or even a chute for that matter, so that you don't have to bolt it to the ground and a cow's not going to pick it up and walk away with it. But in putting a floor in, we wanted to pay more attention to this than ever before. So we got a floor here called the PolyCleat floor, because if your floor is slippery, that's a very quick way to get a cow stressed out, because cattle, as we know, have an innate fear of falling. So if we can get that floor, the quieter we can get it, the more traction we can give her, the more confident and relaxed she's going to be. So this is what we came up with. This is a PolyCleat floor with large traction ribs, and underneath this there's cross members placed 15-inch on center, and for two reasons. One, that's how we fasten the floor down, and the other reason is it keeps this floor off the ground, and that will drain any liquid nicely through it. So the other thing I got you here, just to give you a good visual, is I got a mature animal's hoof, and I'll just put it in here to show you how these cleats work, these high ribs. And these ribs are placed far enough apart so that a cow can comfortably stand flat with her hooves on there, keeping her very comfortable. After that, we come to our head gate. So this head gate is nothing like our previous head gate. It's been completely rethought and redesigned. It runs very smooth as it moves on nylon bushings, but it's got a completely redesigned locking mechanism and a completely redesigned timing bar. So this head gate opens up 29.5 inches to the front and 18 inches to the rear. And these profiles here got a slot in them, so all you have to do is just lift your yellow handle and it'll pop right through like that. So this door's lock on these top rails. These are 2x2 188 wall, and these locking cells have a straight up and down vertical movement. Now, the main reason for that is because often a cow is pulling back hard or pushing hard forward, and this head gate can be simply and easily released under extreme pressure. And these locking cells are warranted for life and we can replace or put in simply with 2 bolts. So the other thing we have here is our limiter chain. This is simple but effective and also important. So if you're at the back or if you're on the crowd gate and you're trying to get that animal to catch itself, you want to set this head gate just a little wider than her ears, because if you don't set it properly or if you don't use your limiter chain, what can happen is that animal can come up here and she may back up before she's caught. She may open the head gate all the way up enough as she comes forward she can get her shoulders past, and then you've got an emergency situation. So we thought long and hard, how can we help a producer that gets in this kind of predicament? So what we did is this. All these connection pins, which are a machine bolt pin, and it's the same fasteners that we use on the bottom access doors of our chutes. They're here on the crowd gates, they're here on the timing bar. So if you get into a hip lock, which is a serious situation, as some producers have known, what you do is, this is a simple linch pin that keeps that on that machine pin. You take it off, you're going to need a hammer, and you simply pound that off that pin, and it disconnects your doors, allowing you to release that animal. Put your linch pin back in, and you're ready to go. So you got a nice yellow handle here that's on a nice 45-degree angle that allows you to comfortably use this door and keep your hand out of that cow's vision there. Nice, easy to reach handle, even for a shorter person, and the doors adjust very easily. Now, having said that, we realize that you don't adjust doors that much in a calving pen, but on the bottom, we've kept the same floating connection system as our previous pen, as it's been very successful for us, and you can adjust this door in and out, and it doesn't have that tendency to bind on you. So the other thing, added benefit that we've given you here, is we've got a really nice neck injection window immediately behind that door. So if you got that cow that never cleaned, you want to bring her in and give her a shot, we've got it set up for you. So after that, we come to our access gates. There's quite a bit to talk about here. We've put a lot of thought into this. This has got access to every single point of the animal. So what we'll do here is we'll just start by using our crowd gate. Both gates on both sides can be split with a simple drop pin. But if you're crowding up a cow, you're going to want to have your gates connected. Our latch is a simple over-centering tub stop, so that on your return, you don't have to hang on to your stop. It keeps itself open and you pull them back. So as we start crowding up that cow, the way we've welded these rails on to the outside uprights, we welded them flush with the outside. Now what that allowed us to do is you get that post also becomes a tub stop. So you got a tub stop at the very beginning of your pen. Then as you come around, you have 3/4 inch solid round tub stops, 21 inch on center. And as you keep coming around to the point where you start squeezing that cow up, those tub stops get closer together in smaller increments. So there, we've got the cow crowded up now. Now you're going to probably want to use some of these chains depending on what you're doing, whether you're doing a C-section or you're getting the calf to suck. So we put a lot of time and a lot of thought in this, because one thing we set out to do is we want to make it so that at no time the producer has to put his arm through a rail, because you're asking for a heap of trouble if you do that. So if I want to chain my top gate, there's a storage latch up here with 2 slots in it. I don't even have to remove it from the chain latch. I just pick it up from one side and I just simply easily drop it into the latch like that. And then I can also squeeze the cow up in 1 link increments. So that's how that chain works. So the other thing we've improved is this chain latch. So when you hook it up here, instead of having a profile just welded on top of your tube there, we've actually formed a profile connecting 2 rails together and on this side. So no matter how much force that cow puts on that gate, there's no chance of ripping out a weld. It's a very much beefed up design. Now the chain at the back that allows you to chain the top or the bottom independently, there's a storage chain latch up here. You have this all done previously before the animal's in here. Now on this outside rail or outside curved panel, there's a chain latch, and that's how you would have the chain stored. So now when you go in here, this cow was caught, she sucked up reasonably, same thing. You don't even have to remove the chain from the chain latch. You just pick it up, you lift, and you drop in one simple motion. So it's a big safety feature, because that's one of the goals at Arrowquip, is to keep our ranchers safe, because this can be, as we know, it can be a dangerous job. So as that gate is latched shut, we can open up this back gate, giving us well over 7 feet of access, and this gate swings fully 165 degrees. So I've got total unobstructed access to the back of that cow should I need to use a puller or whatever needs to be done. All these gates are all slammed shut. Your swing out gates on the right hand side, like I said, they can be split or connected. They're hinged at the front and they swing out over 90 degrees, as well as the gates on your working side could swing over 90 degrees. So the other thing that we've done that is new, but we also learned this at one of the ranches that we were testing on, because a previous pen he didn't like the height of his bottom gate, because we know that cows vary in size and they vary from herd to herd depending on your breeding. So if you got a shorter cow in here and you got this gate on the high position, this is kind of industry standard where it sits now, within reasonable amount. If that gate's too high on her side, you increase the chance of her kicking you. As well, if you go to do a C-section, that might be a bit high on that cow's belly. So what we did was this. It's a very simple but effective system. So like I said before, this custom machine bolt that we used in other places is also used here and just held on with a linchpin. So remove your linchpin. We're going to adjust it for a shorter cow. You put it in there like that, drop it in, you drop your next door down, and then that's your next setting. And on that side, that's why you got double holes for slam latch to accommodate both heights of gates. So that's your adjustable gates. So I think that pretty much covers off everything. Your crowd gates have upright stays in the middle for added structure and stability. And like I said, all gates are slammed shut. So I think we've come a long ways in this new design in this calving pen. We're very pleased with the functionality and the ease of use of it and the safety for the animal and the producer. And I think you're going to really enjoy using it. So thank you very much.